welcome to the new vlog episode. Let me show you where I'm at. We'll do a rental car review later. Ford Fusion Hybrid, that was a nice surprise. We are in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. It's beautiful out here, but we're not here for the recreation, we're here to work on airplanes. So the aircraft is very clean. Definitely the cleanest JetProp I've ever seen, just in terms of oil and exhaust staining. It doesn't necessarily mean it's as glossy as it could be. Let me show you with the lights. So if you put the lights on it, you can see it's just not very sharp. It's very hazy. We'll do a little test area and show you the type of potential that this plane could have. Here's a little before and after. You can tell the left half is already whiter. If we put a light to it, you can see the reflections are a lot cleaner as well. So what we ended up doing here is there's exhaust soot in the paint, which is somewhat corrosive, so it's oxidizing the paint, which is why it's dull and gray. We remove that oxidized paint and embedded soil, if that's in the polishing pad, and we're left with clean paint. So you can't see me here, you can see me here. So it's almost 3 o'clock, day one in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Let me show you what I got done so far. So paint correction is going well. The wing is done. This half of the fuselage, we have the top half, so the white is done. I'm working on the blue right now. The blue not being clear coated. Check that out. See all that pad residue coming off? So it's going a little bit slower just because a lot of pad washing needs to happen, but it's producing some really good results. In the California episode, I showed you the Amazon inclining creeper that I really like. Well, if you want to take it a notch higher, if you really, really like your detailer, you get this creeper, which is the Aero creeper. It folds down low, it goes up high, turns into a chair. This is pretty much the cream of the crop when it comes to creeper. So that's aerocreeper.com. They don't pay me. This is just a genuine endorsement. One of the challenges on this job is that there's a boat trailer underneath the tail, so I had to move the plane forward so I could get access to the tail. So we got a ladder up here. There's the boat trailer. So just pulled it forward a little bit. This hangar is so tight for this airplane. Look at how little space there is. So if I squeeze around here, see that? So that's all the tolerance we have. And these doors, when they open, so there's rails up there. When these doors open, they come across this wall, so there's actually even less space up here. Because of that, the owner actually installed these rails, which is really smart. So when you guide the plane in and out, there's no way for you to hit the wall because you'd have to jump this aluminum rail. So that was a great idea. It interferes a little bit with the creeper operations, but overall, it's a lot better than crashing a wingtip into the wall. Good morning. It's day 2 in Lake Havasu. Let me show you what I got done yesterday. So actually the batteries died on my phone and my camera. So not a lot of filming got done, but a lot of work got done. This wing is paint corrected. This whole side of the fuselage is paint corrected. The other side, the top half is paint corrected. I'm kind of working my way along the bottom to paint correct that. But I stopped doing that because I needed to start doing touch-up paint, just to give it enough time to dry. So all 5 different colors on this plane needed some touch-up. So I mixed up a bunch of paint last night, went around and got everything touched up. So I gotta very carefully poke it and see if it's dry today. By the end of the day, it should be dry. We're in Arizona, it's pretty dry. So the plan for today is to finish polishing the fuselage, the wings, polish the underside, do a wipe down, and possibly start coating. At a minimum, I'd really like to get the fuselage coated. Ideally, coat the whole thing, of course, but me and predictions, it never works out. If that all gets done, we're also coating the interior on this, so we got to pull the seats out and clean the leather and get that coated as well. So maybe that would be a good break for today. I don't know yet. We'll just see how it goes. We'll see how long polishing the underside takes. So if we look on the fuselage, here's that blue I was trying to describe. See how that looks? Not very shiny at all. What I'm gonna try and do is set up the camera such that you can see this oxidation being removed just the way I see it. It's very satisfying because you basically see polish go on, see the oxidation come off. And then you work it a little bit longer to make sure everything's gone, but it's a cool process, so hopefully I can show it to you. I'm gonna set up the camera on the wing, and maybe I'll attach it to the polisher actually. So that's definitely not what it looked like before, right? Look at that shine. We actually have reflections. Ignore that part up there. That's polish residue that hasn't been wiped off yet. If we look at the before here, you can see there's a dramatic difference. So the top of the wing sees an unusual combination of exposure because you have both the exhaust coming and sitting on there and oxidizing it, and you have UV exposure from the top. So after we just cleaned this, look at the reflections here, and here's before. So that yellowing that you see, that's gonna be embedded soot, but it's also going to be UV oxidation. So the difference in texture is notable. You can't feel it, but you can definitely see it here. And once we do that whole wing, you can see up here the difference in just color. You don't notice your wing slowly turning gray because it's such a gradual process. But when we only do a small section like we just did here, you can definitely tell the shine and the brightness that you were missing out on. It's very important because we have so much pollution and oxidation coming out of the paint to keep those pads clean. There's a big difference between the performance that a new pad will make versus one that's already loaded up with paint and polish residue. So I'm going to keep cleaning pads and keep polishing away. We'll set a time lapse here so you can see it go a little bit faster. So I'm done polishing the underside here. Found a little something. Let me show you. So this is pretty common actually for this aircraft model. So there's fuel leaking up here. It's wet up here, and I don't know if you can see if I get closer. You see that line of just jet fuel running down there? So what happens, and this is sadly somewhat, it's not unusual. I wouldn't say it's common, it's not unusual. There's a wing rip right here, and it develops a little crack and allows fuel to seep out of there. Working with Malibu Aerospace, I've seen a few of them, and I can ask them, hey, what's going on here? And they explain it. So detailing is a good way to see kind of the condition of your airplane, and hate to be the bearer of bad news, but probably a cracked wing rip down here. Done polishing the underside, which is exciting. Gonna start wiping down. There's a lot of polish residue still all over the plane, so we gotta address that. Wipe that off, do a panel wipe, and then we'll be coating. It's about 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. Panel wiping the whole plane is probably gonna take an hour. I need to pull the plane back out. So I'll show you what I mean back here. That's where I need to go. That was in my way. So now I can put a ladder up there, climb up, and finish coating this. So before we can coat, we want to make sure that this surface is as clean as possible. And to do that, we're going to spray it down. Well, we're not going to spray it. We're going to spray an alcohol solution on these towels, and then we're going to wipe the surface, remove any polishing oils we might have. This is a very potent alcohol solution. It's one of the supplies I actually have to ship, because if you fly with that, the FAA isn't going to be pleased. What it does, it pulls out any oils, waxes, polish, and it ensures we have a clean surface to work with. So we're gonna wipe down just the tail for now and coat just the tail for now. Once we have the tail coated, we can push the airplane back in, and once that's in, coat the rest of it. But I just wanna finish this part up here so I don't have to worry about the doors being open if I needed to go take a break or whatever. So you can probably appreciate now why I chalk the wheels. So I don't want this plane moving while I'm up here. So while we're up here, I'll show you how the coating works. We use applicator pad here, which is a microfiber sponge. Got the coating, and then I got two towels, two identical towels. However, one of them has a tag, one of them does not have a tag. That's how I keep them apart. So we have a step 1 towel and a step 2 towel. The step 1 towel is going to remove the bulk of the coating. Then the step 2 towel will finish up after it and make sure we don't have anything left behind. So add some more coating on the pad. Spread it out. Now that the pad's saturated, we can work bigger areas. And I try and stick to paint lines or panel lines to segment off what is and isn't coated. A little bit harder on composite aircraft when you don't have that. Take our tagless towel, kind of work around that perimeter, then work inside and pick up all that excess material. Then we take our number 2 towel, gross. go around and definitely get the edges where you might suspect that you have high spots or kind of smudges. And then go on to the next area. Good morning. It is Sunday, which I believe is day 3 in Lake Havasu. Got the side of the plane coated last night, but then it started to get a little cold. So I stopped for the evening. Stopped at around 1 a.m. actually. This whole side is coated. We're gonna swap around, get the other side coated. Wings, tops and bottoms, and then we already did the vertical stabilizer yesterday because we had to move the plane for that to be accessible. So that's done. Once the plane is coated, we're gonna work on the interior. So we're gonna get the seats cleaned out, probably take out some seat cushions, get those scrubbed down, and then get those coated as well. So we got the other wing coated. We're working coating this wing. Being a top-facing surface, it gets a lot of the UV exposure, and also a little bit closer to the fuselage, a lot of exhaust sits there. So it's very important that we protect this gloss that we fought hard for with the paint correction. To protect it, we're gonna get the coating, slap some on there, and then we lay it down nice and thick. And spread it in. And being that this is a single stage paint, it actually sucks the product right in. So on if this was a clear coated aircraft, we could work a little bit bigger area. But here, being that the paint is somewhat porous, it sucks it right in. So it kind of has a thirst for the coating. A thirst that we're more than happy to oblige. So you can kind of see those ridges or streaks. I just go over it again here and make sure it's even and consistent. And if I walked away from this right now, it would actually cure and harden like this, which is bad because it looks like someone painted this plane with a brush then. So we get our microfiber towels. And I got one that's a little bit drier, one that's a little bit wetter. The wetter one is our step 1 towel. So we go around the edge here and make sure we don't get any on the boots. I'm just gonna work in a nice pattern here and mop up the excess. So now we got most of those ridges and paint marks almost gone, but there's a little bit of a haze. And to get that haze off, we use a second towel, which is not nearly as saturated with coating. And we just lightly buff it around. You can feel different degrees of grabbiness where there's a little bit more coating. So we just go around and make sure that everything is evenly smooth. Some people like to look for the high spots with their lights, but that's difficult to do, and especially when you're working on something that's white. By the time you can see that high spot, you know, it could have cured already. It goes pretty fast when it's humid. Out here in the desert, we're fine, but just by assuming you're gonna have high spots, especially where I have edges or, you know, if I wipe like this, I'm gonna assume I have a high spot up here. So that's why with my second towel, when I go over it, I go a little bit bigger than the area that I coated, just to mop up anything like that. But this surface is ready now. It's nice and slick. We're gonna move on and get the rest of the wing done. So this rivet line here, there's a wing spar underneath that. Follow that all the way back. In front of it is coated, behind it is not coated. You see how the front half has a deeper gloss? That's the gloss that the coating adds. So it's not a lot of gloss difference. Our big gloss difference really came from the paint correction, but you can definitely tell there's a little bit more depth of gloss on the front half. And of course, once we do the whole wing, it, you know, kind of evens out and everything will be glossy, but just thought I'd show you. Hasn't been a great month for my health, I gotta add. So I got sick on the Cirrus job in Indianapolis, recovered from that. And then I was working on cars in Minneapolis, and somehow I got like a skin infection or something, and I grew this huge like abscess swelling on the side of my face. Ended up having to go to the hospital for that one and get antibiotics because I was sweating while it was 20 degrees outside. So yeah, that's problematic, but the Benadryl seems to have taken care of this issue. I guess people can become allergic to stuff later in life, which is, you know, plausible, sure. But that sucks because I kind of like eating almonds as a snack. Maybe I just shouldn't eat as many almonds, but I'm not gonna try that now because I don't have time to be conked out on Benadryl. But yeah, underside of this wing's done, so that's cool. I'm gonna go hop over to the other side, get the other wing done, get the underside of the fuselage done, and we'll go to the interior. All right, the plane is coated. It's way too late. It's like, it's not as late. It's 7:15, plane's coated. We'll do beauty shots tomorrow morning. I just packed up the bare essentials. Towels, chemicals, tools. I'm gonna leave most of the stuff here. Actually, all the essential stuff's in there. I'm just not gonna clean up all my stuff here. We're gonna drive over to the owner's garage and get started on the M3. So the M3, if I can get the paint correction done today, I'll be happy. Unlike this thing that took all day to actually coat, that car's gonna take 50 minutes tops. It's an E92, so it's not a huge car. But I do want to get going on that. I want to be respectful of their neighbors and not be making noise late at night. So I'm going to grab the bare essentials here, jet out of there, work there, and probably not going to see a lot of filming on that unless there's going to be a good before and after. So. All right, analysis. We are leaving, it's Monday, third day here. We're leaving Lake Havasu City. I was hoping to go see the London Bridge because some guy decided to buy a bridge in London, disassemble it, ship it over here and plant it. But I want to get back to Phoenix in time without having to rush. It's about 10 o'clock. Spent the morning cleaning the leather, coating the leather, and just cleaning up the hangar, touching up little stuff here and there. The M3 that we were gonna do last night, I got there and it was black. It had a lot of swirls and scratches, just much more than what my process that I had planned for it would take care of. There was some water spotting as well that if you polish over that, you can potentially make it worse. So I didn't have the tools and the chemicals with me to take care of that. So it was best to not do anything to that car, so I just washed it and put some sealant on it. I recommended the car to my buddy Theo in Las Vegas, who is going to do an absolutely amazing job on it. Give it the paint correction it deserves, not what I can do with, my suitcase worth of aircraft detailing process. So that didn't get done, but it was the right thing to not do it. I think it's better to not do a job than to do a job poorly. So yeah, that's okay. We'll do a car at some point. Next weekend, I'm going to Destin, Florida, working on a Cirrus up there. It'll be nice to go home for a little bit, though. I'm trying to knock out a Beechcraft Bonanza checkout so I can fly that plane around instead. So I might try and work on that this week. But other than that, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed already, just hit subscribe. It doesn't matter. It makes me happy. You won't even notice a difference. And watch more videos. Share them with anyone you think that might be interested, either from a detailing side or from an aircraft side, and I will be forever grateful. Till the next one, have a great week, and thanks for watching. Just got in the car, and the seat is trying to kill me. Like, it would not stop. It's like, this is the angle it thinks I should be in. That's why this case was pushing against it. I'm honestly impressed at how far forward that seat will angle. But yeah, almost perished because of camera case crushing my seat.